Welcome to Glasgow. Scotland's largest city is built around its mighty river, the Clyde, and this famous stretch of water is the venue for the latest instalment of the Rat Race, the urban adventure series that brings a splash of excitement to the city streets. Once providing the greatest shipbuilding and trading port in the world, the historic Clyde has now been regenerated with iconic architecture and attractions. But for us, it's an adventure playground with a 10-kilometre course linking various activities around, on and yes, in the river itself. The course here takes on some of the waterfront's more unusual sights, like the Squinty Bridge and the Squiggly Bridge behind me. And there will definitely be some jiggly legs later on as the race unfolds. So let's get over to your race commentator, Patrick Winterton, for a closer look at the course.
Glasgow is a fabulous venue for any sporting activity. It's a city full of monuments, museums and landmarks. And one of the best known is, of course, the bollard on the Duke of Wellington's head. I'm not sure the creator, Carlo Modicetti, would be too happy with that. The Glasgow Riverside Rat Race takes place, of course, on the banks of the River Clyde. It's a 10-kilometre race with one or two obstacles on the way. They go round the Science Centre, through Festival Park, and then up the riverside towards the Squiggly Bridge. The short paddling section before they head back towards the finish. There's an awkward obstacle course under the Finniston Crane before they head back for the climax of the race, walking the plank at the tall ship, the Glenlee.
Some competitors come to the Rat Race for the glory, others for a free t-shirt and a good laugh. And we've been meeting with just a few of the latter. Are you looking forward to it? You done much training?
No training. No, we reckon it'll be a surprise to the body, so we just give it a go, see how we get on. So yeah, looking forward to it.
So guys, you look very colour coordinated. How do you think he's going to go?
Pretty excited, just glad it's good weather.
Girls, I saw you pointing towards your Wobbly Williams earlier on. I didn't know whether to look or not. Tell us a little bit about it.
That's right. Wobbly Williams is a charity that raises money towards basically Parkinson's disease. There's a couple of us doing it, so we're looking for having a good time today.
Have you been doing any training for it?
No.
I ran last week. I ran 4 miles the other morning.
So does it not make you nervous that they're making you try on life jackets just for a 10k race?
Just a bit, yeah. I'm already nervous, so putting this on is even more so, yeah. Very nervous.
So girls, you're checking out the map. Are you nervous about today?
Very nervous about today. We've been standing just looking at the signs shaking. We're definitely nervous.
Have you been round to the boat yet to see the height of the jump yet?
No, there's a jump.
You've seen the jump off the boat into the Clyde though, yeah? No. Well, the fact that you both play water polo definitely bodes well because it looks deep and it looks pretty scary to me.
Bit scary, bit scary.
Well, it's almost time for the action to get underway, so no more talking, apart from Patrick Winterton, that is. So let's join him for the start.
5 waves of roughly 200 being used for the start today. Just about 1,000 competitors entered for the Glasgow Riverside Rat Race, and it's about to get underway. Many of the self-selected elite going in this first heat, along with Daisy and Sally McCarthy. Water polo players. There's a mixture of sportsmen here, 1 or 2 specialist 10k runners, some triathletes who will enjoy the obstacles, and plenty who've had no exercise for the last 6 months. So an interesting mix. The pace at the start will be fast, it always is. So away they go to settle in on the north side of the river. 7:08, that's Dan Thomas, one of the favourites for today's run, and 7:83, Alan Ramsey. And he's a 36-year-old from Edinburgh with experience of the Edinburgh Rat Race, so he'll know all the tricks.
So Alan, how do you feel about being one of the favourites?
Oh, I'm not sure about a favourite. I'm just looking forward to getting started and getting running and seeing how I get on.
So what's your game plan today then?
Don't think about it, just start running, keep going like crazy, and when you get to an obstacle, don't think about your technique or anything, just hit it and go for it.
Well, Alan Ramsey certainly setting off hard, and he's on the north side of the river. They've got to cross over towards the Glasgow Tower, and there they take their first deviation from a normal 10k run. Number 305, that's local man Chris Hines, and alongside him is the fireman, number 24, Grant Bailey, 32-year-old from East Kilbride. A very quick 10-kilometre runner. We know he can crack 32.51, but he's not going to manage anything like that on today's course because of the obstacles that they've designed on the way round. And it's all about being able to cope with the agility exercises that they've put in. Can Bailey do it? We'll find out very shortly.
So Grant, you've just been thrust upon us as one of the favourites. How do you feel about that?
Now that you said that, I'm pretty nervous actually. But looking forward to it. I saw it advertised on the internet, so I thought it'd be different, something different. I'd give it a go. I'm usually just do road 10Ks, so it looks interesting.
Past the Science Centre, and now they work their way up towards the Glasgow Tower, only to go down again and then repeat the exercise. This is a fell runner's delight. 10k courses generally nowadays very, very flat indeed. Chris Hines looking strong in second place. Behind them we've got Alan Ramsey. Tom Chadwick is there as well. And a good start from Dan Thomas wearing number 708. It's the sort of exercise that just pushes the pulse rate up above that comfortable limit. And the breathing certainly increases. And the men now heading down towards their second obstacle as the second wave prepare for the start. Everyone's been through a fantastic warm-up today, thanks to the sunshine and, of course, the urban gym instructors who've done such a good job. Into Festival Park now. This is where it gets narrow and a little bit of clean footing. Very important. Might be useful to be in the lead at this stage of the race. And at the moment, it is the fastest runner, Grant Bailey, who has that position. A tactical move from him. 305, Chris Hines, quite happy to sit in there behind. Chris Hines, 2 years out from sport with a broken ankle, so he's done well to get himself into such good shape. In fact, Bailey also 6 months off with sciatic problems, which I'm sure many of us have suffered from and know exactly how hard it is to get rid of, but he's running very smoothly at the moment and starting to stretch out the likes of Dan Thomas. 38-minute 10k for Dan Thomas, that's his predicted time. He's an adventure racer and so no stranger to the bushes. Oh, Chris Hines pays the price of being right on the tail of Bailey. And, well, the good news is his ankle survived, and that's not a bad recovery. He's lost only 10 metres or so, but will be eager to get back on the tail of Grant Bailey. Tom Chadwick, Alan Ramsey, lost a little ground. Lots of work to do for them.
Hello! Woohoo! Yay!
Stiff competition going on up front, further back with the second and third and fourth and fifth waves. A slightly more sedate pace.
This is awesome!
But we know smiling uses energy. They might need it later on. Well, there's a great shot of the course and the squiggly bridge. And the leaders now approaching that stage. And Grant Bailey's earned himself a bit of the lead, but because they've got two-man kayaks, he's not going to be able to get away on his own. He won't lose any time, but he's just got to hope he gets a good paddling partner. Away they go, and it is Chris Hines who jumps in the front of the boat. So they are the first pair away down the Clyde. Little opportunity for some tactics here. Get your partner to do all the work, and then maybe you'll be a little bit stronger at the end of the course. Good leg from Hines and Bailey. They can think about heading back towards the finish now, but there are one or two unusual obstacles on the way, and the first one coming up very shortly.
Let's go straight through the snow.
Come on, lads, let's go.
Well, there was plenty of snow this winter. They won't have been expecting it today. Under the scramble net or the camouflage net, and still neck and neck at the halfway stage. Now, Chris Hines, as a triathlete, will be used to transitions and stopping and starting. Bailey, a specialist. Third and fourth, Ramsey and Thomas, as they have been for the last 5 minutes. So difficult to get the legs going again after a little break. But 7.83, Alan Ramsey looking very steady indeed. Well, the Waverley out on the water, that's about the only boat that seems to have any control. Built back in 1947, the rest of the kayaks all over the shop and doing added distance. Sampling the Clyde water for the first time.
It's as fun as it looks.
Is that cold?
Snow usually is.
I don't think I've ever crawled through snow in shorts. No. Frostbite.
There are many historical sites our rat racers can look forward to on their tour of Glasgow today. But it just so happens that one of the greatest challenges they can look forward to is a leap off of the tall ship Glenlee into the Clyde below. And when you're standing out here, you can very much see why they call it a tall ship. Join us on board for that and more of the action after the break. Welcome back to the Glasgow Riverside Rat Race. The 1,000 competitors have still got to take a plunge in the Clyde before they can get back to the finish for a well-earned break. So let's rejoin your just as breathless commentator Patrick Winterton and see how they're getting on.
Well, they're heading back towards the finish, but still 1 or 2 obstacles to go, and one of them right underneath the Finniston crane. Used to lift steam engines onto ships, might be useful for lifting a few of the competitors back onto their feet once they're exhausted. Still leading the way, Grant Bailey, 32-year-old, little look over the shoulder. He's checking out on Chris Hines, who's been there all the way through. A little trip from Hines early on, but it doesn't seem to have taken anything out of him. The leader safely over the Postman's Walk, which gets harder as the race goes on. And now down towards the Clyde Auditorium, locally known as the Armadillo. Wonderful bit of architecture before they go on to the SECC tunnel. Heading towards the finish and the climax of this rat race.
It's like James Bond.
Well, I don't think James Bond would ever be seen in shorts like that. Easier said than done. Now that's more 007 style.
Hang on.
Okay, I'm coming. Oh god.
The tall ship moored here at the Riverside Museum is the venue for the very last challenge the rat racers will face. The Glenlee was built here in Glasgow and after travelling around the world hundreds of times has come back home to the Clyde. But to finish their journey, the rat racers will have to jump off of it into the very same waters. For those that want a fast time today, they definitely can't afford to hesitate now.
Well, developments up the front and Chris Hines for the first time coming up alongside Grant Bailey. Is he about to make his move? He looks very comfortable and he's just sat back in second place right the way through, still smiling. That's got to be a good sign. And Grant Bailey, the head is dropping a little and the lead changes for the first time since the first 20 metres. Now, there are still 1 or 2 obstacles to go, and the first of which is just a short swim in the Clyde. I can assure you that the water has been tested and the scientists are happy. And that's a good thing because they've got 2 dips to come, 1 straight swim, and then the leap off the Glen Lee. Well, what a turn of pace from Chris Hines. He's on his home patch. This is a run he does every lunchtime, so he knows exactly where he's going. That's got to be a slight advantage. But the strength of his legs that come from all the cycling he's been doing, certainly paying dividends now. Grant Bailey needs to think of a few tricks if he's going to catch him. The first swim, not easy in trainers and life jackets, but it's short. Safely through. I think he might need the life jacket later on, because the crux of the race is the next obstacle, and it's going to take a little bit of nerve to hold his lead as he heads down towards the Glen Lee. It's a tall ship, and it was designed with a massive freeboard to cope with the ocean's waves, and it's a 6.1 metre jump, just about 19 and a half feet, and he cannot afford any hesitation at this stage. If he wants the win, he's got to go straight off. Man or mouse? Well, that's not bad. Chris Hines straight into the water. He's got about 7 feet down, but he keeps his advantage over Grant Bailey, who can do nothing about it at this stage. No hesitation from Bailey either. A fireman certainly should be used to heights like that. Out of the water for Chris Hines, and only 1 small obstacle to go. Third and fourth still a tight battle. Dan Thomas, 7:08 on the far side. Alan Ramsey.
That's great. Off you go. Oh.
He's done that before. And away they go to fight it out for the last position on the podium. Alan Ramsey paying the price for not doing up his life jacket and missing swimming lessons at school. But up front, Chris Hines just looks better and better as the race goes on. He's heading for home now. And after 2 years off with a broken ankle, he survived the ultimate test over the last obstacle. So nearly threw it away there. But he survives onto the plank, over the mat, and he's across the line to take the win here in Glasgow. Ahead of Grant Bailey, a fine performance from the 32-year-old fireman.
You shared most of the race with someone, actually. You was running as a pair. Didn't you feel guilty taking it out on him in the last couple of 100 metres?
Yeah, I mean, you do feel guilty when you've been spending an entire race with someone, but you know, at the end of the day, you know, it's a race. It was the last little sprint. Just had to put it in and see what happens.
Oh, me and Chris were running all the way together mostly, and then just coming into the final couple of obstacles, he pulled away. My legs were like lead at the end there. The few obstacles that we'd done before it just took everything out of my legs, but great fun.
It feels really good. Yeah, it's been a phenomenal race. You know, some good competition, but in the end, you know, it's been a good little result.
Great competition right the way through the field, and Alan Ramsey's been involved from start to finish over the last hurdle with ease, but not quite good enough for the top 3. Dan Thomas getting into 3rd, Ramsey 4, and Sarah Juggins, what a performance. The first woman finishing 5th overall, just 6:49 down on the winner Chris Hines, and it would have been even closer if she hadn't suffered from vertigo.
When they said you had to jump off a boat, I thought, a couple of metres, I can manage that just. Got to the edge, looked down, and it was way, way, way too far. So I scrubbed the deck as a sort of penance for that instead.
So that's the price for not taking the leap off the plank. That's how it's done. For some, it's nothing. For others, it's probably an event they'll remember for the next 5-6 years. Everyone has their limits. And when the knees start shaking, you just can't stop them.
I've just seen your legs shaking. You squatted down off the end of the platform. You was a fraction of an inch away from going. What went through your mind?
I don't know. I just looked down and I went, oh, I can't do it. But I'm going to go back up and do it.
Yeah, well, the crowd's behind you, so I wish you the best of luck.
Well, there are plenty of men and women scrubbing the decks today. Some will do themselves proud. Now, these two had absolutely no idea what was coming.
Have you been round to the boat yet to see the height of the jump yet?
No, there's a jump. 2, 3.
While you was queuing up, I said, any nerves? And you was like, no, until you looked over the edge.
I know, it looked a bit higher than we thought. So it was brilliant. It was brilliant.
There's only one person not enjoying this. Big cheer, big splash, great effort.
Can we do it again?
No, you got 300 metres to go. Go for it. Good luck. Well done.
They head for home with just one obstacle to go. It's been a very rewarding day out, 10 kilometres with a difference. So close. The finish is just 10 yards away, but it could be a long, long time before some of them get there. "1,000 competitors, 1,000 smiling faces. Count me in for next year."
How was that?
Cool, saw some parts of Glasgow I've not seen before. Some great bits around the back there and great race. No, well done, it's really cool.
That was great, apart from the running and the climbing and the swinging and everything else.
It was good fun actually, really good fun.
That is by none the biggest smile I've seen over that line. 2 of them, look at that. Was it good?
Absolutely brilliant, loved it. Fantastic.
Amazing, this jumping off the ship was amazing.
Girls, just line up here for us. How was that?
It was unbelievable, it was so much fun, we really enjoyed it. Me.
Well, it's been an unforgettable debut for the rat race here in Glasgow, and for those that took on the course and the Clyde, a day that will live long in the memory too. The rat race now moves on to Stockton-on-Tees, where we can look forward to more watery fun, so do join us for that. But between now and then, from Glasgow, it's goodbye.